good about keep applying for different grants for them, and it finally came
Well, it
through.
depends on how you apply, too. I know the language makes a big... I remember for years, 3 years in a row, that they applied for Donia State University, according to Hefner, who runs it. He says they applied for a swimming pool, and they were turned down. But the third year, they didn't apply for a swimming pool, but an auditorium. Whoosh, went flying through. Went flying through. Can you imagine that? So you got to be careful how you write your grants, right?
Right.
Marianne Spanos, Dr. Spanos is vividly and actively chasing down money that's floating around, and the stimulus plan, since it was an emergency thing, nobody really paid much attention to it, and I think everybody applied for anything got it. And there you go. That was a smart move.
Well, the other thing is that they're focusing on energy efficiency. And one thing that this grant for Sinclairville is going to do is help decrease the cost of their heating. Because they do have high energy costs because the building is quite old. So
how does it decrease the cost? Insulating?
Well, it's going to be
heater,
part of it's going to be for insulating and improving the energy efficiency of the building. When some of the new windows will get replaced, some might be for insulation, a new roof. They're going to get a new facade.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that these old-fashioned burners they're using are very inefficient. The new ones give you about 3-4 times as much action for the money.
Right.
And if you just throw the old one away, put a new one in, you say, oh my God, that's $4,000. You'll save that in a matter of a very short time in your fuel.
Yes, and did you know there's some new rebate programs out there? If you're buying any new appliances right now, I would check with whoever your fuel provider is. I know that the BPU in Jamestown has a big program going on right now to give rebates for refrigerators, washers. They also have a $25 for windows. So they're giving a rebate.
Per window, you mean?
Per window,
Holy
yes. And you can get up to $1,000 on their program. But there's also some national programs going on.
Yes, there's federal, state, and local. All three. You check them out.
So look at who your utility provider is and find out what rebates you might be able to take advantage of.
If you actually wanted to put in solar panels, you could just about break even on the cost. If you count in the federal grant, you'll get a federal deduction, a state deduction, and you will also get a local public utilities deduction because you're going to sell them your excess energy.
Yeah, actually, I'm having an estimate done for my house from Liberty Solar. They were at our energy conference, and they asked me to send them a copy of my latest bill, and they're going to come up with a estimate of how much I could save by putting in solar energy. I had always wanted a windmill, believe it or not, and but as I've been looking into, what is the best thing for a residence, it really sounds like solar might save me more money.
Solar is, one of the most bogus things is these windmills they're throwing up there. First of all, they're ugly. Can you imagine a bunch of windmills in this beautiful setting of the ocean or the forest or the meadow? These big ugly things going round and grinding round and round.
I actually don't mind them when they're all together.
Well, I don't mind them when they're on someone else's property, far out of sight. I don't like to look at them though.
Well, the ones I think in Buffalo are quite beautiful on that dead space that used to be Bethlehem Steel.
Right.
But I don't really care for when you go to Bliss in, I think it's Wyoming County. They have them like every farm you look at, that kind of
Look at the desert. I see this beautiful desert scenery. It's so lovely. Desecrated by all these big things flopping around. And you go out to sea, some lovely harbors where it was beautiful and clear and nice. Suddenly all these big things are flopping around. And up on the hill, they want to put them across the hill where you have those lovely mountains up there. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Well, we actually in Greece have them. In Greece we have them on top of our mountain.
Okay.
We have windmills, and I think they're quite beautiful.
Well, the old-fashioned windmills they had in Holland were okay. I'll buy one of those occasionally. But these great big airplane things that grind around, and they're full of hazardous waste. You've got to replace that. And the farmer who takes it probably is the one who's going to be stuck with it when they decide to go bankrupt, which they all do. And it's the most inefficient form of energy there is on Earth. In order to supply the same amount of energy as a little tiny coal-operated plant in Dunkirk provides, you'd have to have them at legal distance from Buffalo to Cleveland. Insanity. Good morning, caller. I'm sorry to make you wait.
Good morning. That was if they were in a straight line. However, we're not planning to run them in a straight line. They're going to have little farms set up with them. But anyhow, that's not what I'm calling about. First off, I'd like to say a nice hello to Mr. and Mrs. Bishop, who run the dance studio in Westfield and are busily planning their wonderful Christmas show. And I'd like to wish a happy birthday to a very special host for Senior Report, Mr. Reed Powers. And I have a question for your guest. I have had occasion to use some of the services that they offer, and the one that I particularly liked was when I was first starting out to go on to Medicare and needed a supplementary insurance. And they were so good about explaining the different plans and so forth on me. Now, recently, I have seen advertised on TV many times a commercial that says, "Seniors, beware. This new health care plan could cause you to lose things that you're getting now, and it could cause you this, and it could cause you that." You know what? If you read the bill, it is not going to cause the seniors to lose these things. The bill is not being funded on the seniors' money. If you read the bill, and the sky could fall too. Could does not mean it's going to happen.
Caller, those ads are sponsored probably and paid for in full by the billions that the insurance companies are laying out to kill any health care changes they can possibly kill, especially the public option, because they want the 30% they take. That's almost $1 trillion. So go on.
Well, I'm so glad you brought this up, because I've seen those ads as well, and I think they're sponsored. They're sponsored by the Medicare Advantage plans, which are the private insurance companies that years ago told Medicare, we can do it better than you. We can save you money by providing better insurance at 95% of the cost of Medicare. But what's happening is they are not providing it at 95% of the cost of regular Medicare. They are providing it at 120% of the cost.
Who pays the difference?
Who do you think?
Well, I'm very satisfied with my supplementary insurance. I don't pay that much extra for it. I do have some copays. But I just got my new plan, and many of the things that I'm paying for are going up. I understand insurance has gone up all over, healthcare costs have gone up all over the country by an astronomical amount. So I guess I can't really fault them for this, because it's going to cost them more. There's no way of getting around it.
In this day and age, when we're just so concerned about this, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield. I received a letter yesterday, 20% hike, not a 5%. The government says there's no inflation. 20% hike in my initial costs for the insurance, and major differences in increases in my deductions.
Right.
The point is, though, they said that they could do it better. They could provide better care, better insurance coverage at 95% the cost of the government Medicare. They're not doing that.
Right. You're absolutely correct.
They're a bunch of lying rats, really. And these ads are just so misleading and outrageous that they should be put in jail for running them.
But the thing is, people don't understand that when you say it could, like I said, the sky could fall too.
Right.
That is just, if you use the word could, it's a scare tactic. It's just there to get you scared.
And exactly, there is a lot of scare tactics going around, and I don't know if you read the article I wrote a few months ago about where to go for good information. And the best place is the Medicare Rights Center. And that's I don't have the number with me. You'd have to call me.
Google it up, Medicare Rights.
Medicare Rights Center. Also locally, Bill Armbruster, he's the regional director of AARP, is a terrific source of information about Medicare reform. And we've had him come and visit with some senior groups in Chautauqua County, and if you called and invited him to your group, I would think he might make a trip out here to see you. But he really has kept on top of what is going on in healthcare reform and what it means to seniors. And he's the one actually who gave me a lot of this information about the fact that these insurance companies are up in arms because they are not doing it the way they told Medicare, the way they told the government they were going to. And so